Hey everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel and Trending Thursday, our live segment on YouTube every Thursday at 2 p.m. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here and always glad to have you guys here where we do a live stock analysis on a lot of different stocks that are making the news. But most of all, we take advantage of what's going on in the market and we watch to see what's going on. All right, so there we go. Hold on. That's on YouTube. Sorry about that. We are live streaming on Facebook. I'm trying to see if I can get the Facebook stuff going on right now. If I click on start video, don't do that? That's playing from my phone. All right. All right. Well, we are live. So it's supposed to be dual streaming to both Facebook and to YouTube. I'm trying to see if I can get that going. If not, we're still here for YouTube nonetheless. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and make sure that I'm coming across loud and clear across the airwaves. And my producer, Joey, is sitting to my right. Say hi, Joey. Hi, Joey. He's the guy that makes sure that everything is working on the stream as well. So what Facebook page, Roger? It is on the VectorVest Facebook page. On the VectorVest Facebook page. And I'm not sure if it's trending, if it's moving there or not. We're working on it if it is not. We are definitely working on it if it's not. So I see the people chiming in with the VV Nation. Glad to have you here. I don't see how many people we have here. Joe, I got a lot of stuff going on today, and Joey's trying to keep me under wraps in regards to how all of this is going on. So, again, glad to have you here. We're going to be talking about a lot of stocks. And today, if you stay to the end, for those of you who are interested in knowing how to have a system, a trading system for you automatically, no matter how you invest in the market, I got a surprise for you today. We're going to look at our trading systems viewer. It is behind the paywall, but I'm going to give you access, if you want to take it, behind the paywall to show you how you can easily put together a trading system of knowing when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. We've got them here for you within the VectorVest program. So again, stay to the end to get that. Also, if you can, share this link. Share this link with everybody in your social circle. Let's get this ramped up so that people can get an understanding of what's going on in the market and what trades they could look at possibly taking as we do our analysis. Hit the like button. Let's get that started right away as well. If you like what you always see here, if you feel it's of value to you, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. All right. So today, we're gonna talk a lot about what's going on in the market from the perspective of what happened with the Evergrande real estate company in China. It sent the market into a little bit of a free fall on Monday, but ever since then we have recovered. And we always start our segments of Trending Thursday off with what's going on in the market. I think before you try to make a trade, whether bullish, bearish, or neutral, if you play in options, you always need to know what's going on in the market and how to best take advantage of the trend of the market. So let's get into my first web story. All right. Actually, that didn't happen just quite the way I wanted it to. Hold on. There we go. So let's get into my first web story. And we always talk about the job of the Fed. What is the Fed's job to do? Fed's job is to look at interest rates, to look at inflation, and to look at jobs. That's their job. And their monetary policy is set up around those three things. So from an interest perspective, we know that we're still at historically low interest rates. From inflation, it's running hot, but they're okay with letting it running hot. As I listened to the Fed yesterday, they're looking at a percentage of about 2 to 2.2, thereabouts. That's okay with them for inflation. And from the jobs perspective, they're trying to get to a point of maximum employment. Now, my views on jobs has changed over the last couple of weeks in regards to people working. My thinking is if the jobs open up, then people should be out there working. If we start to take away the extended benefits on unemployment, people should start working. But there's a lot of other things that as time has gone along that I've started to think about. I think about the people who have children and they need to stay home with their children if schools are not fully open or if they're afraid to send kids to school. I look at the fact of people going back to work, and with the Delta variant, it's a strong thing. It's just running rampant. They don't want to go to work and get the COVID-19, especially the Delta variant, and bring it back home. So to get to a point of maximum employment is going to be a little bit tricky right now with what's going on, especially with the Delta variant. So it's easy to say that people should automatically be going back to work. What's their problem? But it's a lot different if you try to put yourself in their shoes in regards to going back to work. All right, so that's my statement in regards to that on people going back to work and the Fed trying to get up to maximum employment. But as I looked at the Fed speak yesterday, a lot of things came to fruition. Interest rates, they kept them unchanged. They're looking at raising rates sometime next year, all right? And you know something? It's going to happen. And when it happens, when rates rise and when they get to the point of tapering back on the buying of the bonds, the market is going to feel it. And the market is going to go down. Now, is it going to crash? Is it going to correct? Is it going to go to recession? All of those things are left to be seen. But the market's going to be affected, but it has to happen. Markets can't go up forever. It just can't go up forever. So it's going to happen. And all we can do here at VectorVest is get you prepared. But the Fed tees up taper and signals rate increase possible next year. The tapering is going to be big when they stop buying the bonds, because then the bond rate's going to have to go up to make it attractive for people to come to buy the bonds. If the bond rates go up, people are going to get out of the market. That's going to affect the market. When they start to raise interest rates to slow down a bustling economy, that's going to hurt the market as well. So I'm looking at both of those things. Then we go over the Fed signals bond taper this year, path to lift off in rates heats up. All right. So those are the two big things that will make the market go down. When that happens, I don't know. But as long as you stay with VectorVest, as long as you stay with the videos that we do here on the YouTube channel, as long as you stay with Patrick on Thursdays when he helps you with utilizing the mobile app, and here on Trending Thursdays, we got you covered. We got you covered. We will cover all of these things and always try to keep you on the right side of the market. Also, let's talk a little bit about the Evergrande problem. China Evergrande is a big problem for the market, and these charts show just how big. Now, this is a Barron's story. Now, when I looked at the news coming out of China on Monday about their second, keep in mind, it's their second biggest real estate company, is going to start to default on the loans that they've got put out there, the market overreacted. Now, it's not as big a problem for us, it seems like, than it is for the rest of the global economy. A lot of people have sunk a lot of money into China's housing market or building market. You remember the time 3, 4, 5 years ago when China was buying up all of the steel and they were building so much. Keep in mind, they are the biggest emerging market with the most debt. They've got the most debt out there. And I think that it's a big problem on a global perspective, because if this company defaults on these loans, who's going to want to do business with China? Think about it from that perspective. Now, China is a communist country, and it's all about the collective, more so than the individual. Totally understand that. But if a company like Evergrande goes under, can they sustain that if people start pulling their money out of investing in China? Again, this is just my 2 cents. $300 billion problem. They've already started putting money into their banks to shore up Evergrande. Evergrande is doing the best that they can right now. And from what I've heard, they're even giving away property as payment for the loans that they have out there. All right, so I'm putting all of these things together. It's a big problem. Doesn't seem like it's as big for us as it is around the globe in what's going on in China. And the last one, world shares sink as China Evergrande fears spark risk off. So again, I think it's a big enough story to talk about. I think we overreacted on Monday. As you can see, since then, we've pulled back up. moving back higher, and somebody did something. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. Somebody just gave us a super chat of 99 cents. I'll take it. Thank you so much. You guys don't have to do that, but I will definitely take it. Thank you very much for that, Matthew. It popped up on my screen as an emote to say somebody did it. So thank you so much for that. And again, you guys are all capable of doing that. And if you do, we appreciate it, but it's not expected that you have to do that. All right. So the Evergrande story is what it is. State Street already packaged all the Chinese realtors into every last one of your pensions. Ooh, I don't know about that. We'll see. But we have a systematic risk, especially for the longer and debt ceiling ticks. The debt ceiling is going to be something to be talked about for the next couple of weeks as well, and we will be covering it here on Trending Thursday. So all of these things match up or wrap up into what's going on in the market, why the market fell as bad as it did on Monday, and it seems that we're coming back out of that and the market's moving higher. Let's talk about what the market's doing. All right, so let's get into the software. And from the software, here's the home page of the VectorVest system. All right, from the home page of the VectorVest, man, my buttons don't work from that perspective. That stings. All right, here's the what's going on in the market. Nice update today. Nice big update today. Again, coming back from that Monday setback. Michael says the Japanese market is doing well since the beginning of September. The best way to benefit iShares EWJ ETF. That's another stock that I'm going to look at. EWJ. What were we looking at? We were looking at ERJ this morning in the Jockey Club. Wasn't that? Who's here from the Jockey Club? I think we were looking at a stock called ERJ. All right, so I think it was. All right, nice big update in the market. All of the major indices are up in excess of 1% today. Again, I wanted to put in perspective what happened with the Evergrande story and what has happened since to give you a better understanding of what's going on in the market. Looking at our advance to declines, definitely more stocks going up than going down. Almost 4-to-1, right now 3.5-to-1. That's a good sign for the market. But for those people who are VectorVest subscribers, guess what? Look at that. We got a primary wave up today. Let's see if it closes. And if it does, we start looking at getting into another swing trade scenario or campaign in our Jockey Club tomorrow. We'll talk about that for all of you who are part of our live day trading room every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. All right, so let's go see. The market's moved up high enough over the last 3-4 days right now to give us a primary wave up. John says the DEW went short into the low and now is going to go long today. What a whipsaw. And it goes to show a little bit, John, we were starting to come out of that a little bit until the Evergrande story came out. ARBK just opened up on the market today. Tanker, we'll see if we can get that looked at today. All right, so with that all being said, let's look at my stocks that I look at for tracking the market. Here's our watch list of stocks today. Not a ton of stocks today. We're only looking at 14. These are sorted by our master indicator VST. Let's go find the VVC and let's go find the spiders. Those are our two indicators that we look at. For those of you who are not VectorVest subscribers, I look at the spiders to give you a sense of what's going on in the market because a lot of people use that as a benchmark for tracking their portfolios. And for those of you who are subscribers to the software, we look at the VVC, which looks at the movement of almost 9,000 stocks. Let's right click. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. No, that's Jake. Jake says that. Now, where's Tom? Tom, where you at? Are you here, Tom? Let's go look at the stock graph, see what they look like. So for those of you who are tracking on the VectorVest composite, let's take off division. Let's go here. Go to graph layouts, look at VectorVest simple. Actually, I don't even want that. I want to go look at the VectorVest layout. There we go. On the VectorVest layout, we're looking at a 40-day moving average. Here's Evergrande. This was Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is Thursday. There's the gap down. We fully faded the gap on the VectorVest composite. Nice, beautiful up day today. Broke through the 40-day simple moving average, and now we're looking to take out the all-time high of 69.33 on the VectorVest composite. Remember, this indicator tracks the movement of almost 9,000 stocks. I'm looking for RT also to get above the value of 1. Let's go look at the S&P 500. Same kind of scenario. There's the Evergrande, and it's rebounded now. How about it's not above the 40-day simple moving average yet, but does have a level of resistance on at 446.92 on the S&P 500. So we will keep our eyes on that as well. I bought some Senseonics shares today. What do you think? Chris, for the sake of transparency, I do own Senseonics stocks as well as CTRM, two stocks that I've talked about on this channel. I own them both. CTRM was going up today. I still like it. Senseonics, I think it was either flat or a little down today. I will keep my eyes. I like the stock. I like the innovation behind the stock as well. Now, let's see. Richard says, I tried Cafe hatefully. It's Cafe Bustelo. I drank enough Cafe Bustelo today. I didn't want to drink it for Trending Thursday. I had a lot of it. Woo-wee. All right. So both indicators, both the S&P 500 and the VVC, nice open candles today. Is today a good day to buy stocks? Yes. Long term, I like the retracement coming off of the pullback on Monday. Both indices between the S&P 500 and the VectorVest composite have rebounded nicely. Good time to be in stocks. All right. So with that, does anybody have any questions on the market right now? Hopefully I gave a good understanding of what's going on, especially taking into effect what was going on with Evergrande. I tried yet brand of Cafe B. Yuck. You don't like Cafe Bustelo, Richard? I mean, I hear you. It's okay. It's all right. If I don't have any questions about the market stuff, I'm going to move on to my next story. Senseonics buy on the breakout. Again, we'll take a look at individual stocks at the end. All right. All right. Let's get to my next story. Next story is going to be on COVID-19. You know that's hot and heavy, especially with the Delta variant. So look at this. Regulators okay Pfizer for, what did this happen? All right. Pfizer boosters for older Americans this week. They now have emergency use authorization. Not FDA approved on these boosters, but they've got emergency use on the booster right now for people 65 and older and who have a higher risk of catching COVID-19. So as China has the highest debt for emerging markets, Tanker. That was the way, not in the world. I don't think they, something, I don't know if they have the highest, I don't think they have the highest debt in the world. I probably would say we do. That's what I would think that we do, but I'm just speaking off of what I think. I don't know that for sure. I'm just speaking off what I think. But I don't think that China has the biggest debt in the world. But you would think that they would, with the majority of they have more people than anybody else. So maybe that's something to look at, Tanker. That's the best way I'm going to answer that question. All right, it's the best way I'm going to answer that question. So emergency use authorization for the booster, that means like people like me and Joey don't have to get it. I'll have to get it before Joey because then I'm closer to 65 than he is. Right, Joey? See, my board is on, but it don't work. That's interesting. So none of my sounds work, and when I push these two, they don't move. So I don't know what's happening.
Can you move some of those cups you have over there?
Yeah. Joey's trying to operate within my office, and I got stuff everywhere. I do. I got stuff everywhere. All right. So with that, let's move over to my next story. I'll do that in a second. Try it now. Oh, there it is. All right, it works now. All right, let's go to my next story. Pfizer, on the other hand, too, says that COVID vaccine is safe to generate robust immune response to kids 5 through 11. So Pfizer's been pretty busy, huh? Pfizer not only is getting the booster out, but they say that their vaccine is also good for kids 5 to 11. Pushing that even further, Pfizer BioNTech in deal with the U.S. to provide 500 million more COVID-19 vaccines doses for donations to a lot of people who don't have them. That's 500 million doses. Now, keep in mind, the United States doesn't charge for the vaccine, but best as you believe, they are making money selling this stuff to the United States, all right? And one last story. Johnson & Johnson is back in the picture. Second dose of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine results in stronger protection, company says. Now, remember, Johnson & Johnson was the third company that was out there that got emergency use authorization. Only right now, Pfizer is the only one that's FDA approved. Moderna is already put in for FDA approval. It doesn't have it yet. Johnson & Johnson was out there for emergency use, then something to do with blood clots, and they got taken off. They got paused. But now they're saying that the second shot of their vaccine results in stronger protection. So now that goes back to Johnson & Johnson getting back in the picture. Now I'm going to talk about a couple of other stocks that are getting hot. How about this? Novavax and Serum Institute of India announced submission to the World Health Organization for emergency use of Novavax. So now that would be the fourth one. But now this is Novavax and the Institute of India going to the World Health Organization. This is not saying for the FDA, but for the WHO to get emergency usage of the COVID vaccine. And if they go through the FDA and they get it, this will be the fourth company out there for COVID-19. That's making a big move on Novavax. And one more, another one, DVAX. It's moving. Dynavax Technology stock is showing today. Collaboration partner, Dynavax Technologies collaboration partner reported pivotal trial results on COVID-19 vaccine that uses proprietary adjuvant to make it more effective. So now they're going out and saying, well, our drug is better and we got a proprietary piece of information that makes it better than any out there. During this successful 30,000 person study, 0 severe cases of COVID-19 were reported among volunteers randomized to receive the vaccine. That scares me. When you're trying to talk about putting it out to the United States or putting it out to the world, that's only 30,000 people. Now, maybe that sounds like, well, Glenn, you're just being super picky. It's a vaccine, and it's got this proprietary adjuvant with it. I want to make sure I got more people than that. But, you know, if it's considered enough, then we'll see what happens. They're on the move after the company's vaccine was featured in a positive clinical trial readout. Investors excited about the results have pushed the biotech stock higher. And that was as of yesterday. So those are my stocks in the space that I want to keep my eyes on. We'll start with Moderna. Moderna didn't even have to have a story. It's in the space. DVAX and Novavax. Notice that where they sit in my list of 14 stocks, the top 3 stocks in my list today are coronavirus stocks. It's a hot story, and these drugs are making inwaves, all right? What else is in here? There's Johnson & Johnson and there's Pfizer. There's my 5 stocks that I'm looking at in this space, and notice that each and every one of them are up. Novavax is up the most, up 10% today. Let's right-click, view the stock graphs. So not only is the industry hot because of COVID-19, but here's some stocks that are making moves too. Let's go put this on to my layout for a swing trade. There's my 20-day exponential moving average. Recently, DVAX pulled back, found a level of support, now above the 20-day moving average and moving higher. I would definitely like to see it move above that level of resistance of $20.53. Look at the earnings per share and the earnings growth. I'm going to take off the sales and sales growth for a second, but the earnings and the earnings growth look to be moving up nicely. So not only is the stock moving from the bottom left to the top right, but the earnings and the earnings growth are rocking and rolling too. Novavax just recently, as of today, went above the 20-day exponential moving average and broke through a level of resistance sitting at the value of 248.89. It's trading today at 255.56, a little bit of a pullback, but not a ton. Looking for it to get to that 3-month high of 277.80. Now, the earnings growth pulled back a little bit, but the stock still does have good earnings, and the stock's price went up today on good volume. Let's go to the next stock in the list. mRNA. Look at the smoothness of this graph as compared to the rest. Granted, it did pull back to a level of support, sitting at 349.49, but since then has bounced up, clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. I've got a price target of this when I did the video of $500. I've got a price target of $500 on Moderna right now. I like the move of this stock. I like the earnings and the earnings growth. This is one of the best stocks to me in the space of COVID. Now, Johnson & Johnson, it got affected when they got the pause on the drug because of the the blood clots. Now, thinking about it, saying that coming off this level of support, the stock could be, the second dose of it could prove to be an even stronger drug. I really like to see it come above that 20-day exponential moving average. I know that the news on it is good, but I'd like to see some confirmation of move. The first thing that I'm looking for is the stock getting above the 20-day exponential moving average. I do like the earnings and the earnings growth, but I really would like to see that stock get above the 20-day exponential moving average. Pfizer, I still have sky's the limit on Pfizer. This was the first drug out of all of these drugs that got the FDA approval, but man, it hasn't really moved it. So interesting. I'm thinking that as the COVID-19 Delta variant keeps getting more prevalent, the Pfizer drug now getting the emergency use authorization for older people for the booster shots, I think is going to play a role. We got to let that stock come to us. All right. So those are my COVID-19 stocks. And again, knowing that the top 3 stocks out of the 14 stocks that I'm looking at, the top 3 were COVID stocks should tell you something about that space. That space is moving right now. All right. Was I on end of day? You said I was on end of day. Yeah, I was. I'm always on end of day when I look at these stocks. These are not for trades. These are, when I look at these stocks, I always look at them on an end of day basis, Chris. This is, even though this is trending Thursday, because I only do it once a week, I only look at them on an end of day basis. Any questions on the coronavirus stocks? I'm a little thirsty today, so I'm drinking some good water, good cold water too. John says PFE is a possessed stock. I always lose money when I trade it. Pfizer seems to be a little bit of a fickle stock. BNTX does fall into the whole idea of COVID-19. I just didn't have a story on it today. And normally, if I'm talking about Pfizer, it also affects BNTX because they are together in their COVID vaccine. Has mRNA requested a third shot authorization? As far as I know of right now, Charles, no. Pfizer's the only one that submitted for a booster. I don't think that mRNA or Moderna has filed for a booster yet. I don't think so. So I haven't seen anything on it. All right, good questions. All right, let's get back to my stories, and let's get into the next story. Next story I'm going to talk about today is builders. Now, I'm seeing conflicting stories on the internet about building. That home builder is building, but home ownership is falling, a combination of the two. But I'm thinking that home buildership is starting to move higher. As I look in our database of industries, out of the 221 industries, right now, builders is number 37 in the list. So that's not half bad. And out of all of our sectors, we've got 41 sectors. It's the 9th sector in the system. So I'm feeling that by way of the VectorVest system, home builders are starting to move. All right, home builders are starting to move. Shay says, hey, Devil Dog Glenn, I'm hearing quite a bit of ongoing chatter regarding cybersecurity as of late. Any companies have your ears perky? Not yet, Shay. You know something? If I'm looking at anything in the cybersecurity space, I don't know if Palantir falls into that, but if it does, Palantir would be my company of choice. But I'd have to look into it, Shay. Cybersecurity. I'll check it out. Cyber security. First off, I want to see if the industry is moving, number one. And number two, I will hone in on some stocks for you, Shay. Maybe I'll try to do a story next week on it. Maybe if it is enough behind it, if there's enough meat on the bone for it, I might try to do a story on cybersecurity for you, my friend. All right, so home builder sentiment does improve because lumber prices are going down. Remember a couple of months ago, or even last month, that lumber prices were off the chain high. And actually, Amir helped you out. ARQQ, Shay, ARQQ. I don't know enough to give you a symbol without doing some research, but at least I like it that the people in this room help each other out. So Amir gave you ARQQ. There you go, Shay. And again, I still will look into it. All right, so that's one story on home builders. Another one, U.S. home builder sentiment rises for the first time in 5 months. I still think that that's got a lot to do with lumber. All right, so I've got two stories that talk about home builders on the rise. The global housing market is broken and dividing entire countries. Merkel's, what is all this other stuff? I don't want to read that. U.S. home builder sentiment rose in September amid lower lumber prices and strong housing demand. So that one was on Yahoo Finance. This one was on CNBC. And then I look at where these spaces are right now in the system. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to go back to the software. And I went and looked at the whole sector of the building sector, and I tried to find you some of the safest stocks in that sector. And look at that. That is DHI is number 4 on our list. What is that? Building, commercial, residential. I'm going to do this. I want to show you something. I'm going to view the industry graph. Let's see what the industry graph says. All right, so we see the two articles come out on the internet. Let's go see what the VectorVest system says about the industries. All right, once this pops up. And I trust the VectorVest system. Look at that. A bounce. Now, this is the building, residential, commercial industry. Love the bounce off of the level of support of 275.18. It's approaching a level of resistance sitting at 282.24. I'd like to see a couple of things happen. I'd like to see the industry break above that level of resistance and for the industry to get above the 20-day exponential moving average. When the industry was rocking and rolling, the VectorVest system could have gotten you in and out at the right time. It's premature to get in now, but I like the stories that I saw on the internet. I'm going to run with those and maybe get you into these stocks early before the breakout above here. All right, so I'm putting that out there. CrowdStrike is another one, says Ivan, for Shay, for cybersecurity. Can you graph RT ranking on the buildings? Yep, I can. So here's the industry. Let's go to add parameter and capital appreciation. There's RT ranking. Because it is an industry. RT ranking is just pulling back a little bit, but it's leveling off. Nonetheless, it is higher than it was 3 months ago, John. It was higher than it was 3 months ago. Even look at that run up here. We're still in that same level of where it ran up. So again, could this be an early move into those stocks? Absolutely. I need some confirmation of the move by watching the industry break above the 20-day exponential moving average. All right, so I wanted to show that. Now let's look at the stocks that I have in here. Remember, I looked at the sector and looked at the safest stocks in the sector. UFPI, Lennar. I think that was it. Yep, those 3 stocks. The safest stocks in the building sector, and look at where they fall in the list, sorted by our master indicator, VST. They sit as 4, 5, and 6 out of the 14 stocks. So they're still in the top half of all of the stocks that we're looking at. You'll also notice that when you look at these stocks from a fundamental standpoint, all 3 of these stocks are fundamentally sound. The upside and the safety on the stocks are both above 1. These are really good stocks to look at. Now, what's hurting them right now? A little bit of RT. RT is still below 1 on 2 of them and above 1 on Lennar. So not only is it fundamentally sound, but Lennar is starting to move up. Look at the earnings on these stocks and look at the earnings growth rates on these stocks. Altogether, even as the industry fell, these are solid stocks to look at. All right, and they're not all together real pricey, all right? Let's right-click. Let's view the stock graph, and let's take a look at them now. Remember, the industry is starting to rise. These stocks should start rising as well. Do you have any price prediction on those stocks? I'm not a big fan of price prediction. When I can, I will. For the most part, I don't. But right now, DHI is a down day today. I will never tell you to buy a stock when it's moving down. I'm giving you the news. I'm giving you the insight that these could be possible early moves, but DHI is down today and below the 20-day exponential moving average. And thirdly, sitting in a channel. But the earnings per share and the earnings growth rates both look good. And if the industry starts to rise, keep your eyes on DHI. That rhymes a lot. UFPI, though, coming off a level of support. Nice up day. Not above the 20-day exponential moving average, but look at that. Nice up day today. Earnings and earnings growth both look good. Remember, all three are solid stocks. UFPI, if I'm given a short-term profit target, I'm going to look at the most recent high of 78.53 as the stock is trading at $70. That's not a bad move. All right, and look at the last stock, Lennar, bouncing off support as well. 2 days off support. Nice open candle, a little bit of selling pressure. Look at the big wick at the top of the candle, not above the 20-day exponential moving average. Lennar is another one of the stocks that I'd like to see two things happen. I'd like to see the stock break above the 20-day exponential moving average, and I would like to see it break above this level of resistance of 102.68. All right, nice volume on both of these days, nice pop in earnings per share. So I think all three of these stocks are decent stocks to look at. This is early news that the sentiment could be changing around. You could be getting in early on these stocks before they explode. Just remember where you heard about it first, all right? Other cybersecurity stocks, and I'm glad that, again, people are helping Shay out on cybersecurity stocks, and thank you for that, Cody, as well. All right, any stories on my building stocks today? Any stories on my building? Any comments on my building stocks today? Because if not, I'm going to move to my next story. All right, next story today are my stocks of interest. Today, I've got few stocks of interest, and one of them was brought to me by a customer who was looking at a specific two stocks that were in the same industry, like the exoskeleton industry. So my first stock I'm going to look at, that's not the first stock I'm going to look at. The first stock I'm going to look at is Castor Maritime. Why? Because I like Castor Maritime. It's a good stock overall. It's been a tough stock to sit through. I won't lie. It's been a tough stock to sit through. But I think that altogether it's got the characteristics to be a good low-dollar stock in a space that's heating up. All right, this is in the transportation shipping industry. They just picked up another ship. This was yesterday. They picked up another ship. They tell me that they got 27 vessels. I think that they've got 28 vessels. This is a low-dollar stock that has, as a lot of people said, they've screwed up the stock by selling so much of it or putting so much out of it. Then they split. There's a lot going on behind the stock. But what I do like about Castor Maritime is that it's a low-dollar stock with good upside potential. That's not always not always an easy thing to find. Most of our low-dollar stocks don't have good upside potential. Castor Maritime does. All right, so my story on here is that they bought a new ship. Now, here's my exoskeleton stock. You guys have been watching this stock. I know you have. SBLK is another great stock. All the stocks in the transportation ship industry are rocking and rolling. Now, Drew says a traffic jam. What's been holding up these companies is that the shipping rates have gone higher by way of the BDI index, number one. And number two, a lot of ships are being stuck in a lot of ports trying to get out, and that's affected these stocks as well. But as the world overall is reopening from COVID-19, countries need to get goods in. China's the biggest one. They got the most people, and how do they get their stuff? Primarily by ship. And that's what I've been waiting for the longest time, is for China to get on board and start moving to get these imports back up again. And with that being said, CTRM is sitting in a good spot to be a low dollar stock. Nice pop with jets. That's transportation, airlines. You know something with COVID-19 and the Delta variant? Watch jets. Only because travel is dropping. Travel is dropping. So be careful, Bill, when playing with JETS. Just be careful with that. All right? Just be careful with that. With the COVID-19 Delta variant, travel is just dropped off again. All right? So Rewalk. Shareholder returns have been strong, earning 129% in a year. So this company, along with another company that I'm going to look at exoskeletons, helping people who have either disabilities or have parts of the body that have not been working right. So these exoskeletons made a loss with the last 12 months. We think the market is probably more focused on revenue and revenue growth, at least for now. Shareholders of unprofitable companies usually expect strong revenue growth. That's because fast revenue growth can easily be extrapolated to forecast profits, often of considerable size. In the last year, Rewalk, Robotics saw its revenue shrink by 2.6%, so we would not have expected the stock price to rise 129%. This is a good example of how buyers can push up prices even before the fundamental metrics show much growth. Of course, it could be the market expected this revenue drop. Now, another thing about these two stocks, I'm thinking that retail investors are pushing these stocks up as well. I see Clyde says RWLK trading on heavy volume today. This stock has been rocking and rolling for the last couple of days. Again, a customer brought this to my attention, and I wanted to do a little bit of research before I did anything. All right, so I think that this is an industry is starting to move. We're going to get to that in a second. The other stock in this industry is Exobionics, and this stock is moving up right along with Rewalk, but nothing of important news has come out. I went to their actual website. I went and looked at their website, and there was no new news over the past couple of days. So, is that what we needed to do?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So is this them on Facebook?
Yeah.
Hey, so now I can see the Facebook people too. Hi, Facebook people. And Pablo says Glenn 2024. Wow, thank you for that. So there's the dual stream. I can see my chat. Wow, thank you, Mark. Ooh, we got a super chat from Mark. Mark comes through, man. Got a super chat from Mark for $25. Thank you very much for that as well. So I'm looking at the people who are on both Facebook and YouTube, and now I can respond to my Facebook people, and I see Brian says VV Nation, Neil is watching, Lynn is watching. So thank you guys for supporting me over on Facebook as well. Glad that we were able to finally get to see that. So now, without all of the news or much news on either one of these stocks, I'm wondering if retail investors are pushing this stock higher. I'm wondering if this is a Reddit move. All right. I'm willing to accept that if that's the case. All I will tell you is if that's the case, just be careful with it, because as quickly as it can go up is as quickly as it go down. John says, Glenn, on a different note, your favorite stock, Apple, has something going on where it caused Facebook to fall quite a bit. I wonder how other stocks will be affected if Apple will fall. You know, I own Apple. I do own Apple. I own about 100 shares of Apple. And tomorrow, guess what, Toey? Tomorrow I get my iPhone 13 Pro Max. Yes, everybody. So I'm going to be moving from my iPhone 11 Pro Max to the i13 Pro Max. I'm so excited about that. I'll get that tomorrow. Now, Apple, I don't know how it's going to affect all the other stocks, John. I'll think about that. I'll look into that. I don't know if it will. The only stocks that Apple should affect are the stocks that are part of building the iPhone. That's, I think, the only stocks, like Skyworks and things of that stuff, those kinds of stocks. But I don't think that Facebook should be affected by Apple's move. All right, so that's my opinion. That's my opinion in regards to that. All right, I'm glad you're excited about that. Yes, I'm excited about it. Everybody in this room knows that I am the biggest fan of Apple in the whole wide world. Why? Because Apple is the best stock in the whole wide world, according to Glenn. Man, my diabetes is all jacked up because I'm super thirsty. I'm glad you're excited about that. Yes, I'm excited about it. Everybody in this room knows. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm thinking that right now both of these stocks could be retail stock moves. All right, and then my last stock of my stock of interest today is Tonex. Why? Another stock that I've done a lot of videos on. Tonex Pharmaceutical expands research collaboration to develop. Now listen to this. Precision medicine techniques for COVID-19 vaccines and therapeutics. I don't know. It just sounds good. Tonex Pharmaceuticals, the research collaboration is focused on studying the immune responses to COVID-19 in healthy volunteers who have recovered from COVID-19 or were asymptomatic, as well as studying in vitro T-cell and antibody. Sounds like they're doing a lot of good stuff. That's what it sounds like to me. All right. So with that being said, I thought that it was a story of interest, and that's why I wanted to look at this. Delete any pics you don't want them to see. Oh, on iPhone, I ain't worried about that. I'm a happily married Christian man, so I don't care. I ain't worried about that. I ain't got none of them pictures. That was way back in the day. I don't do that stuff no more. No, I don't do that stuff, so I don't care. Try MRK. It'll make PFE look good. MRK. We'll keep an eye on that stock as well. All right. So those are my stocks of interest, and again, every week I try to find stocks that catch my interest and at least bring them to your attention. Let's go take a look at them on my watch list. There's Castor Maritime. There's Rewalk. There's Exo. There's Tonex. How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. There they are, all 4 of them. Now, notice these two, both of the robotic companies, before I go look at the stocks, both of the robotic companies are at the bottom of the list. Watch this. I'm going to right-click on the stock. Let's go take a look at its industry graph, and this is why it caught my attention. Look at the industry. Look at the industry over the last 3 months. Look at that. Bouncing off a level of support. Now, as of yesterday, closed above the 20-day exponential moving average and followed through the day on good volume. This is why it caught my eye as a story of interest. Again, I got an email about both of these stocks yesterday, and I looked at this and said, hey now, I like this. Now, if the industry starts to rise, the stocks within the industry will rise. And if you want to know more stocks that are in that industry within the system, I can right-click on the stock, and I can view the stocks in the industry group. And let's go see how many stocks are in that industry group, which is healthcare instruments. There's 136 stocks in there. Stocks like Flugen are in there, Intuitive Surgical in there, Hologix, a lot of stocks that you do know of that are in the stocks healthcare instruments. All right. And so a hefty industry that's starting to rise, which could pull these two stocks up. And look at them. Both of them are Rewalk and Exo, nicely up today. Rewalk, though, is probably some profit taking because this stock has been up a lot. All right. And TMXP. And what was my other one? CTRM. Let's go take a look at their graphs. So I showed them to you as stocks of interest. I showed you the industry group for healthcare instruments. Watch the earnings growth. The earnings are still rising. The stock is coming off a level of support, going above the 20-day exponential moving average. A lot of profit taken. 2 days ago, this stock made a lot of money. Pulled back yesterday. I'm seeing some profit taking going on today. Again, watch the earnings growth. The earnings per share does look good. What else is in here? Not much questions from my Facebook people. You guys can ask questions too. I'm looking at you. All right. So you can ask me some questions on Facebook as well. I see how many people are watching though. Tonex. It had to pivot because they had They were all in on a fibromyalgia drug that didn't quite work, so now they're going after COVID-19. I did a video, is the pivot to COVID-19 working? I like the bounce off support, not above the 20-day exponential moving average. I'd like to see it bounce above, but I like that it's rebounding a little bit, all right? Now, some of these are more aggressive plays. Here's CTRM. Man, I love the trend that it's in right now. Look at that trend coming off of that low, coming off of that level of support. CTRM is rocking and rolling, folks, but the industry is rising. In my last video, I gave you 7 points why I like the stock. If you haven't already looked at it, what was the name of the video, Joey? 3 Trades of a Lifetime. 3 Trades of a Lifetime. If you haven't watched that video already, please go. CTRM was one of those stocks, and since I did that video, the stock's price is on the rise again. Earnings growth is rising. Go check out that video on our YouTube channel. Okay, Joey's going to put it in the chat for you as well. That's I like that video because it sets you guys up for 3 stocks to truly look at that could be trades of a lifetime. All right. Again, I'm still looking for questions on my Facebook, but nobody on my Facebook is talking. And that's okay. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. All right. Those are my stocks. For my stocks of interest, I do like them all, and I gave you the reasons why I like them all. It's up to you now to make a decision on what you want to do. How much time? 2:51. 9 minutes before technically we're supposed to close down. Today, for those people, I told you if you stick around, I'm going to show you an easy way to use the VectorVest system to find a trading system for you no matter how you invest in the market. So it's in the system under our Viewers tab, and we're currently in our Viewers tab when we look at our watch list. Look right here. I've got a viewer called a Trading Systems Viewer. Now, before any of you walk away, before you say, oh, this is all behind a paywall, you're just trying to sell your services, blah, 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 blah. Stop blah, 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 and then listen. The reason why I'm showing this to you is because I'm going to give you an opportunity to get behind the paywall to do exactly what I'm going to show you today. If you're interested in what I'm showing you, to be able to find a trading system that you can build on your own without a whole bunch of work, 99 cents will get you into the software for 30 days. 99 cents. And if you're going to bitch, moan, and complain about that, then I don't know what else I can do for you. 99 cents to get you into the software for 30 days. Now, let me show you what that 99 cents will get for you. How many of you in the room are aggressive traders? How many in the room are aggressive traders? Type of me. And that goes between my Facebook folks and my YouTube folks. Type of me in the room. How many of you consider yourselves to be aggressive traders? All right, I'll wait while I drink some water. And again, I'm going to see some people pop up in my YouTube. I want to see the people show up in Facebook as well. It's all my people in YouTube. All right. And okay, Neil says, sorry, he's driving. All right, that's fine. So Neil, keep your hands on the wheel, my friend. Please do that. Do not take your hands off the wheel to respond. All right, so with that, see a lot of me's. Now watch this. From the Trading System Viewer, if you know the type of investor you are, click on right here where it says category. See all of these aggressives right here. Now, when you're looking at a trading plan, you need to know 3 things: when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. When to buy, by way of market timing; what to buy, by way of a search or some kind of a screening tool; and when to sell, by way of stops. That's what makes a trading system. All right. So as I look at, I see a lot of aggressive here. Now, just knowing that it's aggressive is one thing. All right. Here's all my market timing signals. We have 7 different market timing signals. But let's do a little bit of analysis before I do anything else. Let's see. These are all aggressive. I can go down the line and say, Holy smokes, this is up 44% a year. Holy, that's year to date. How about it's up 196% year over year? Oh, Thornton's thunder. It uses the market timing signal of primary wave. Oh, but look at this. Over the last month, it's not doing so good. Ooh, over the last 3 months, it's not doing so good. It looks good for a year, but right now it's not working. That's the kind of analysis that we can give you from the trading system we are. Now, somebody on the internet can say, yeah, this search is up 196%. Wow, that's great. But here's other analysis. Over the last month, not so good. Excuse me, over the last 3 months, not so good. So let's use this information to our advantage. Let's see, out of all of the searches, what's gone up the most over the last month. Oh, look at this. S&P small cap, profit locker, aggressive category, using the green light buyer market timing signal, up 9% over the last month. Well, that's good recently. Over the last 3 months, not so good, and over the last year, up over 50%. Here's the graph of it, the max drawdown. Woo! You had to sit through a 30% drawdown on this system. That makes sense on a more aggressive system. Now, the whole idea is I can go down, look over the last month, look over the last 1 month, last 3 months. How about ruler stocks? A conservative search, up 18% over the last 3 months. Let's go down the list, though. We're aggressive, right? So here's aggressive. Blue chip bargains, Doug's downers. So this is a long and a short search, primary wave. Not doing so good over the last month, but over the last 3 months, up 13%. Over the last year, up 15%. Drawdown 21%. All right. So let's turn around and say, all right, I can do this. I can find one. Maybe I like blue chip bargains overall. Look at the equity curve, a little dip, but definitely bottom left, top right. Watch this. I can go get the trading system details. If I click on it, it'll pop up. It'll break down what it does. So from what does the system do, here's the performance. Look at that, up to 219 and then fell hard like nobody's business. Ooh, I'm not sure I really like that. All right, and the cool thing about what we're doing right here is we're doing analysis on a lot of the different trading systems we have for you. All right, let's do this a different way. Maybe I'm a little bit more prudent. Let's go down the list. Prudent searches. Let's just eyeball it real quick. S&P, SFS, S&P, Verns, 31% for the year, 28% for the year for model portfolio number 3. Look at that. Green, 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 green. Look at that equity curve. Whoo. Only a 9.2% drawdown. Whoo. I like that. All right. I can right click or go up to trading system details. Let's go look at the long term on this. I like this. Look at that equity curve. How much work did it take for you to find something like this? Up over the last 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, year over year, 3 year. Look at that. I'm not going to show you the stocks, all right, because you're not a subscriber yet. But this is what I wanted you to stay here for towards the end, is to be able to, no matter what type of investor you are, we've got something called the Trade System Viewer that will help to put into your hands a trading system. And again, yes, it's behind a paywall. But if you want to take advantage of what we've done the work here for you, we do the work, you reap the rewards. If you want to see how to do this, 99 cents gives you 30-day access to all of this information. All right? So my understanding is that an aggressive investor never buys and holds. So you're right. If I put this on the aggressive category, what am I looking for? I'm looking for short-term gains. Seattle Bear Beaters, aggressive, 6.9% in 1 month. How about aggressive? S&P small cap, up 9%. So, Lou, I can take that same ideology to look for the aggressive and see what's worked over the last month. Oh, not only is it up over the last month, but over the last year, it's up 63%. It's up 2.5%.